Go ahead.
Y'all? I'm Angel. I'm Ricky's friend. How are you doing? Good night. I'd like to start off with, this is the Criterion section at the famous Tucson Casa Video on Speedway. You know, this is going to be a great achievement for you. First off, I'd like to start off with Ghost World. Now, this movie, I have to say, is, you know, it's pretty relevant with the current times right now. You know, this is a film that stars, you know, a young Scarlett Johansson, and, you know, we got Thora Birch, who was always amazing in the 90s films, and, you know, just pretty much just adolescence progressing and showing, you know, all kinds of weird side of, you know, the whole dystopia lands and everything of that nature. So yeah, Ghost World is a good one. I always recommend Ghost World because, you know, it also has Steve Buscemi. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly,
Nice.
but
Yeah,
you know, it's a good film based off a comic book too. I'm actually really surprised to see that they have this covered because I bought the Ghost World, but not the Criterion Ghost World. I wonder if there's a website to buy this version because I like this artwork better than mine. It's pretty great. Yeah, Ghost World's a good one. Let's see what else we got. Okay, let's see. Oh, House. Yeah, this is another great one. I'll have to tell you right now, you know, it's based off of 1973 Japanese, like a scary film, horror. It's just so artistic. It's just one of those banger horror films that, you know, you watch and you're like, man, they thought up some pretty, you know, unique ideas for how they're gonna approach like this whole horror aspect, you know. And you really gotta applaud the director for this film because he did his thing, you know. And it looks so minimalistic with the special effects, but, you know, just to base the storyline and everything going on. And, you know, it being Japanese, it's just one of those that you gotta check out for yourself. And, you know, it's basically a bunch of schoolgirls. They go over to their aunt's house, you know, for a vacation, thinking, you know, it's all a-okay. Yeah, we have the house to ourselves. We're gonna turn up, Ichiwa, you know, like do this all cool stuff. But it's not what it seems. Comes out the house is haunted, and, you know, some girl's head turns into a watermelon or something like that. I forgot the basis, but, you know, some craziness goes on in this film. But House, yeah, that's always going to be a good one to watch. I definitely recommend. House is a great film. Let's see what else we got here. Night of the Living Dead. I remember being a kid. I didn't have cable, so they used to throw the old shit on all the time. When Night of the Living Dead came on, that was one of those films that was like, whoa, this is pretty dope for a black and white film. You know, the way they approached like the whole, it's, you know, it's another scary film, but the way they approach the aspect of like, you know, these, you know, zombies breaking in, and, you know, these people just so scared and incoherent on how to approach this whole situation going on. And, you know, it might have been one of those films around 1967 that, you know, was pretty revolutionary, you know, amongst other films like, you know, Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock, and, you know, other films of that nature that took place. But, you know, it's just, yeah, Night of the Living Dead, the OG version, definitely something you have to check out. You know, there's a lot of stigma on black and white films, you know, and I get it. I found them pretty boring, but, you know, if you give them, if you just take a little bit of patience, they'll turn out well. I promise you. They got some bangers for sure. I like black and white films. Yes, I do. But
What's your favorite B&W film?
oh man, favorite black and white film. I'll probably find it here, believe it or not. If not, you know, I'll find it somewhere. My favorite black and white film is The Apartment, starring Jack Lemmon. Jack Lemmon, I have to say, hands down, my favorite actor of back then. Like, that dude was amazing. He was probably like, I want to put him at like Jim Carrey tier comedy, but with, you know, Denzel Washington aspect acting. Like, he was just the man. Jack Lemmon, there's a reason why Ving Rhames gave him his Golden Globe when he won it for, his best actor. It's because Jack Lemmon's the man. You check out Jack Lemmon, I'm telling y'all right now. I mean, he's just one of those solid actors from back then, and I'm a huge fan of Jack Lemmon. So shout out Jack Lemmon for, doing his thing back then. And he is one of those actors that, you can kind of, feel for. But The Apartment, basically, what that movie's about is this dude, he works for an office, and he's trying to get up there, and his coworkers, the higher ups, they're like having affairs with their wives. So they basically take their girls to his house, and they just pretty much book his apartment for all these affairs. And so he's trying to figure out how to live his life and do his thing, and come to find out that the girl he has a crush on, which is an elevator operator, he wants to hang out with her, everything like that. But the elevator operator girl is the head honcho of the whole department, is having an affair with her. So this guy is feeling conflicted. She almost tries to kill herself on Christmas, and she's on the bed when he gets home. The original owner of the apartment, Jack Lemmon, the man, gets there with the girl. He's about to hang out with her, do his thing, and then he goes to his room to find her OD'd on his bed. So he's trying to figure out, hey, get out of here, but I do have a crush on you. So he kicks the girl out, and he pretty much just like, not no weird shit, but he just kind of like helps her to, recover and everything from that whole sickness. And, everything just kind of turns topsy-turvy, but The Apartment definitely is one of those banger films from back in the day that I feel like I kind of resonate with in a way, because I felt like I was in sort of a similar situation. But yeah, The Apartment, definitely something you should check out with Jack Lemmon. I don't know if the most recent films I showed you were cliches, but honestly, I don't care. Those are the ones I like. Well, I hate to say it, but Adam Driver's really good film is in this one, specifically Marriage Story, starring Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver. They did a heck of a lot of good acting in this film. Kind of shows the ideology of marriage, how things can, get torn apart, and, having that difficulty and just seeing it in real life is just, it just kind of gets a broad perspective on how love can be diluted, and, these two people can fall out of place, and, just certain aspects on, life and everything. And believe it or not, this was directed by Noah Baumbach, which is also his wife is Greta Gerwig, which, come on now, we know the GOAT, Greta, Lady Bird. Come on now, Greta, you do your thing, Greta. I haven't seen anything yet, though. I really wish she had won director Oscar for that film, but she was up against La La Land. What are you gonna do? La La Land, and what is it? La La Land? I don't know, but I think it might have been La La Land. But still, yeah. Damien Chazelle did his thing on that movie too. But yeah, Marriage Story, good film, all out solid film. Let's see what else we got here.
Want to give us one more banger?
One more banger, and I should be good. No way. This is cool. This is interesting to see that it's a Criterion Collection film, but come on, man. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to know that that's a Criterion Collection. What can you say, man? Just all out star-studded cast. Phoebe Cates. Come on, man. You got, I think that's Lawrence Fishburne, but yeah, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 70s, man. You got the surfer dude, just all out hilarious. It's also another, conflicting high school film around that time. You got women trying to experience these things, and, you got this innocent dude who's trying to be in love, and it circles all around that whole, friendship and guidance of high school, and lust, and and you know, just certain trust you're supposed to have in your friends, and you know, certain aspects, and even, you know, there's a scaling point to like where certain students take Spicoli, for example. You know, he's not that well in class, but somehow he just aces it at becoming great. Yeah, man, all out solid film, dude. It's also a comedy, but yeah, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, definitely a banger. It's one of those films you can put on and on. Can't get tired of it. You know, it's always gonna be new to you. But yeah, I really like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. But yeah, that's what I got so far for everybody. You know, that's my Criterion picks, and my name is Angel, and thank you for tuning in.